In this video, I am going to find f of x minus 2 given that f of x is equal to square root of x squared plus 3. It's easier to solve these problems if you think of a function as an input and output. You give it an input, it gives you only one output. So my f of x is equal to square root of x squared plus 3. Let's look at this given function and see what it does to the input. So this is my input x. I am giving the function f an input x. What does it give it out? It takes the input, it squares it, so it's going to square x. And then it's going to add 3, that means adding this 3. And then it's going to take square root of it. You can think of it as a 3-step process. In this case, in this particular example, 3-step process. It could be any number of processes. So it's going to take the input, square it, add 3, and take the square root of it. Now what if I change this input to, let's say, x minus 2? So now instead of x going in, x minus 2 is going in. So this whole thing, you have to think this whole thing as one unit. Don't think of it as x one thing, negative 2 another thing. Think of it as a single unit, okay? Because x minus 2 is going to evaluate to a number, correct? So it's going to go as an input as a one thing, one number. Now what the function is going to do to this input is going to take x minus 2, is going to square it, like the way it squared x is going to square now x minus 2. Then what is it going to do? The way it added 3 is going to add 3 to it, and then it's going to take the square root of the whole thing. So that's what it is going to be. So it's going to be input square x minus 2 square, add 3 to it, and take the square root of the whole thing. Now you simplify it, f of x minus 2. So we are going to simplify the input. Remember, this is the input, one thing. Think of input as one thing, here, one single unit. Don't think of it as 2 different numbers or 3 different numbers. So it's going to square the input. So let's take the square root of the whole thing, put a big square. So x minus 2 whole square is x minus 2 times x minus 2, right? You can FOIL it, you'll see it's going to come out to be x squared minus 4x plus 4. So it's going to be x squared minus 4x plus 4. And also you could use the difference a minus b whole square formula, which is a square minus 2ab plus b square. In your context, a is x and b is 2. You can plug in these values, or you can just FOIL it, x times x, x square, x times 2, negative 2 is negative 2x, negative 2 times 2x, negative 2 times x is negative 2x, negative 2 times 2 is 4. So this is what we get from this. Then I add 3 to it. Now f of x minus 2 is equal to square root of x square minus 4x. 4 plus 3 is 7, and that should be your answer. Now once again, let me summarize what it is. Basically, you have to think of function as an input and output. It would help you see things better. Think of whatever is inside the parentheses of the function argument. That thing is just one unit, one input going into the function. If you think of it that way, you can easily find the function values. I hope that this discussion was helpful. Thank you very much.